This is Express Update. I welcome you all, and my name is Vichis Vampuado. Now to our headlines. COMAC postpones new energy levy. Road Minister refers contractor to Attorney General over abandoned $158 million road project. These and many more stories we have coming up shortly. Thanks for staying with us. On our first story, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, has agreed to a revised implementation date for the controversial One Ghana Cedi fuel levy following earlier pushback against the Ghana Revenue Authority. There's more to this.
Originally slated to take effect today, June 9, the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy will now be implemented from Monday, June 16, 2025. This follows strong objections by COMAC, which described the initial directive as coercive and unfeasible. The chamber accused the GRA of what it called an institutional ambush after the directive was issued on a public holiday and delivered over the weekend with little consultation.
And now COMAC had demanded a 2-week transition period, arguing that oil marketing companies needed time to adjust pricing systems, reconfigure logistics, and prepare for compliance. Without that, they said, cash and carry marketers would be hit hard by the unexpected tax.
With the new June 16 start date, COMAC now says it is committed to cooperating with government agencies to ensure what it calls a smooth and sustainable rollout of the levy under the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025. The Chamber also praised what it described as productive stakeholder collaboration in reaching the new agreement.
Now to our next story. The Minister for Roads and Highways Governs, Kwame Agboja, has referred Indian construction firm GMC projects to the Attorney General for action after the company reportedly abandoned a major project, despite receiving $29.6 million, representing 20% of the $158 million contract.
The contract involved upgrading the Tamale Save Lugu Waluwalu Road, but the company is said to have completed just 1% of the first phase. GMC Project, which later attempted to rebrand as Copper 2 Project, issued a termination notice in March 2024 and allegedly tried to secretly move equipment to Guinea. Despite earlier public assurances from former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia that work would resume, the road minister has vowed to either compel the company to complete work equivalent to the funds received or take legal steps to recover the money.
On our final story, the Ghana Cocobod has raised alarm over the future of local license buying companies, LBCs, warning they may collapse if urgent funding support is not secured ahead of the 2025-2026 cocoa season. Acting CEO Dr. Randia Bay revealed that the absence of a syndicated loan this season has left indigenous LBCs financially stranded as they rely on Cocobod seed money to purchase cocoa from farmers. Cocobod is now appealing to the Bank of Ghana to consider using part of the cash reserve ratio to support their local LBCs.
There's something happening with the LBCs, especially the indigenous ones, which has to do with the fact that we are not doing the syndicated loan. Yeah. Under the syndicated loan, Cocobod creates what he calls the seed money. And this seed money is what is given to the LBCs to go and purchase the bean. But 24-25, no syndicated loan, so no seed fund. What we realize is that although it is saving Cocobod in terms of the financing cost, and mind you, because of where the prices are today, if we were to go for a syndicated loan, Cocobod will be looking at maybe 3 billion or 3.5 billion. And because of the nature of our finances, you even have banks asking for 8% to 10% on the dollar. You understand what I'm saying? So now, the indigenous LBCs are unable to operate because there's no seed money. You know, so one of the things we've done is to engage the central bank. And they asked for a follow-up letter. I've done that. Because what I then told the central bank when we engaged them was that, look, you have the cash reserve ratio, where all the banks put 25% of their deposits at the central bank. It sits there idle, not doing anything. Now we have a critical industry, the indigenous LBC is dying off. Can we look at apportioning 2% or 3% of this cash reserve ratio just to support indigenous banks, indigenous LBCs? And we can restrict it to cocoa purchases just to ensure that the banks also don't go using it for angwa and tin tomatoes and all those things. So this is one of the discussions that we had with the central bank, and we believe that if there's a positive response, it will be able to help, especially the indigenous LBCs. Otherwise, if we continue with this financing model, I fear that most of them might go extinct.
And that's it for our news updates. My name is Beatrice Bampardo. Enjoy the rest of your day.